out.
So UFC is still growing. We know that the pay-per-view numbers are more than competitive with boxing. You ever talk to Dana White about the potential of gates down the road? Not that you want to see ticket prices go up, but eventually maybe they do have to go up because you did just have a card, and it's a bigger figure in the sport and the sports world in Mayweather. But they did an $11 million gate. It just shows how big the biggest boxing matches are compared to UFC, which has made strides but still has a ways to go.
I think there's a lot going on there because part of that is, the casino customers that are paying those kind of prices to a large degree in boxing tend to be older Asian people. And so, those people right now are paying those big tickets, but, the people that are coming behind them, I think are going to be more MMA fans, and I think you're going to start seeing those. And I do think that the card ticket prices are going to go up. However, the one thing the UFC is really concerned about is they're concerned about making sure that it's a grassroots thing and that they open it up to the fans. And, everybody talks a lot about boxing's big gates, but what they don't realize is a lot of these fights that the average fan cannot get into, and there's not really what you would call a boxing fan in the audience. These are people who are big event fans, and they go in there and they happen to go out once a year or twice a year to see a big boxing show, but it's not that they're going to see the fights. And that was evidenced by the Mayweather fight. I was appalled, Steve, on Saturday when I walked into the arena. It was 5:30. There was a couple undercard fights had gone off. There was still a few more to go, and there was no more than 250 people there, and by the time pay-per-view went on the air, it was no more than 1,000. It was incredible, and 90% of the people came within the last 20 minutes before the fight. You don't see that in MMA, and I think that's a good sign. So they know that by keeping the prices where they are, they keep their audience with them.
It's a good move, right? Take a little short on one side, and maybe you make more money on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they consistently sell, more pay-per-views in boxing. Every year they outsell boxing for the last 3 or 4 years, and I think that'll continue this year. Now, a fight with a guy like Mayweather or Pacquiao, that one individual fight will be bigger than any specific UFC fight, but an MMA fight going forward, they're going to have a number of them that do 500,000, 750,000, close to 1 million. And when you put all those together and then you add in the 400s and the 350s that they get, it's a lot of pay-per-views that they sell where, you just don't see that same thing in boxing.
Dana White usually closes things out after the press conference by going into a media scrum. There'll be 8-10 reporters around him. He'll speak for 15 or 20 minutes. Anything real interesting come out? He's going to announce the tough coaches, but anything on Couture and Toney? Any other good nuggets?
He did say that the Middle Eastern version of tough was going forward. He still hasn't decided whether he is going to go over to the Middle East and appear in that, but he did say that they are going to go forward with that. They're also looking at doing a Spanish language one very soon. Mentioned that they are working on Dublin. They have a UK show already lined up for London. They'll get to Ireland, and the London show is going to be a Spike show. It's going to be at the O2 Arena. They're also going to go into Dublin again later. He talked about Anderson Silva. He was asked about Anderson Silva quite a bit based on what happened at 112. He said he hasn't made his payback to the fans yet. He said, give me some time. I still have a ways to go. He did say very interestingly that Anderson Silva will not fight on Spike. He said he makes too much money. He revealed that they lose what he called a boatload of money on every time they put a free fight on TV, and said that they just can't afford to put Anderson Silva on free TV.
Did he have a reaction to Fedor fighting on sort of free TV, not network TV?
Yeah, he made a big point of noting that he was fighting on Showtime, that he wasn't fighting on CBS. And, I think his feeling is, that the M1 people just are tired of battling and were afraid of a lawsuit from CBS, so that they're going to just go ahead and, spell out the contract, and then, then they'll look around to see what's going on again. But, I got the sense from what he was saying, reading between the lines, that he believes, the M1 people believe, that the promotion thing isn't going to work on their end of it, and so they're going to just look to move Fedor.
I asked you about Couture and Toney. Anything on that? And if not, why is it taking so long?
Did not come up. I had talked to him about that last week, and he did tell me that that fight will happen in Boston. So that was sure. And he said that they were going to surround it with a really good card because he said, I honestly, I don't know what to expect out of that fight.
Yeah.
He said James Toney wants it. He said Randy wants it. You know, I told him that I didn't like it, and I don't understand the point of it. And I said to him that I thought that maybe it was his putting this fight on was his way of getting rid of James Toney. And he laughed. He goes, you know, maybe it was my reason. But, you know, he said that a lot of people were talking about the fight. And he said, we're in the business of, you know, getting people to watch our fights. He's going to put a good card on around it. Kenny Florian's going to fight Gray Maynard. BJ's going to fight Frankie Edgar on that card for the title, the lightweight title. And there was one other fight. I'm drawing a blank now what he said. So he said they were going to put that, you know, as part of a very strong card so that, you know, the Couture Toney didn't have to sell the card itself.
All right, good deal. UFC 113 is right around the corner tomorrow. The Q&A, the weigh-ins, maybe we'll get some more news, and then we'll make picks on the fights. We'll check in with you again, okay?
Should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it, Steve. Thank you.